Hey guys, it's me Sujoy over here. Welcome back to another video. So, on this video, I'm going to be talking about, is Vietnam prepared for the next global pandemic? If you're new to my channel, the name of my channel is called as Sujoy in Vietnam. I've been living over here for over 5 years now. I was an English teacher before for 3.5 years here in Vietnam, and now I do digital online business, and I'm also a full-time YouTuber. So if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about, is Vietnam prepared for the next global pandemic? Consider this video as an initial alarm. Um, Now, I'm originally from India, and so the news sources back home, which I actually went through, are pretty aware that there is a mysterious pneumonia like um, epidemic happening around in China as I speak. Now, predominantly, this is happening for children, um, and there are, I think, over 10,000 cases per day in China. The hospitals in Beijing are right now over flooded. Kids in China, they're actually taking their preparing for their exams and all that. They have that intravenous injection in the hospital. A lot of worried parents in China right now. And also, this mysterious epidemic is targeting, senior citizens with comorbidity. What do you say? Who have some health issues. So it's targeting senior citizens, but predominantly it's targeting children. Okay. Now this is like I have an article over here. I'm going to read it out a bit. So, if you can remember, because I remember when I was back home in India from when I took a short vacation from Vietnam, and I landed up staying in my country for 2 years because of the COVID pandemic. Um, I believe I'd left in December that time, and so still, it was like, the world did not take that very seriously. So if you look at the timeline right now, that this pandemic, which is happening in China right now, over 10,000 cases per day approx. It could even spike, but I really don't trust the Chinese sources because I don't know what is what, and they're a bit slow in taking out the realistic data. Anyway, WHO, the World Health Organization, has already requested China to release an official statement, release a realistic data statistics for this mystery epidemic which is happening in China right now. So if I go back to the COVID pandemic timeline, I remember December I was there, and it started. So I think it started going out globally, the pandemic, around February of the following year, and then by March, it was a full scale pandemic. So if you look at this mystery pandemic which is happening right now in China, a lot of kids they're having a lot of pneumonia. I mean, I myself am not new to pneumonia. I mean, I'm pretty susceptible to pneumonia. I remember I was in Hanoi. I was like sick for a month. I was like having a lot of pneumonia, like coughing out a lot of green shit. And I'm more prone to pneumonia, especially after I catch a cold, and when I try to, when my temperature is okay, but then I start having this dry cough, and then it leads to a full-fledged pneumonia, and it's just like, it's like as if I'm freaking dying or some shit. Just constantly drinking water, yucking out, puking out a lot of that green gooey stuff. Is just a nightmare. Anyway, let's just get back to this topic. So I think this is kind of following the COVID pandemic timeline. So like right now, you have like 10,000 cases per day, and God forbid that, if this keeps on going on at this pace, then I wouldn't be surprised that maybe by January end or by early February, this mystery illness could become a pandemic. As we know, there are a lot of Chinese travelers moving around globally. It doesn't have to be, Chinese travelers coming from mainland China to Vietnam or to any other country, but there are also transit passengers, like say, foreigners who visit China and then they go to Malaysia, and then from there they can go to their final destination. So they have the direct route, and they also have the transit route, and also, so what I'm saying is that I think Vietnam should be a bit prepared about this right now at a very early stage, because what I can read from the sources back home is that the cases in China are not dropping. It's like 10,000 cases per day. Now, this new strain of epidemic is primarily targeting children, and for senior citizens. So, if you look at the previous COVID pandemic, it was primarily targeting young adult population and also senior citizens, but not much of children. Now, I'm pretty sure that all the children over here in Vietnam are vaccinated. If there is a booster dose required, if it's allowed over here in Vietnam, then I think kids should have a booster shot. Because pneumonia, from my personal experience, it's not an easy thing to go by. It's very painful. You cough a lot. It's hard breathing. You just like constantly throwing out the green mucus, and it's very hard to breathe. Like my chest swells up. It's like a big whoozing sound. It's a freaking nightmare. I tell you. I mean, I'm not new to pneumonia. I've been having it for. I mean, I've had it many times, and especially in Hanoi for a month, I was like flat out dead. With pneumonia. Anyways, so let me just read this article over here. China's mystery pneumonia outbreak overwhelms hospital. Let me just keep my laptop over here. Okay, earlier this month, Chinese health officials from the National Health Commission (NHC) convened a press conference to address a recent surge in respiratory illness across the country. China is still reeling from devastating impact of COVID-19 pandemic. So let me just go to the juicy parts over here. Surge in respiratory diseases. Okay, authorities in China have linked the upsurge in respiratory illnesses to the easing of COVID 19 restrictions and the reemergence of well known pathogens, including influenza, mycoplasma pneumonia, a widespread bacterial infection that typically affects younger children, respiratory syncytial virus, and the virus that causes COVID 19. Okay. Hospitals overflowing. Okay. Hospitals in Beijing and Liaoning are on the brink of collapse due to an overwhelming surge of sick children, report claim. With outbreaks surging, school closures are also a possibility on Thursday. Um, okay, so Beijing Capital Institute of Pediatric Children's Hospital, where parents and children, clad in winter apparel, navigated the crowded corridors of the hospital. With the outbreak of pneumonia in China, Children's Hospital in Beijing, Liaoning, and other places were overwhelmed with sick children, and schools and classes were the verge of suspicion. Parents questioned whether the authorities were covering up the epidemic. The situation in Liaoning province is also serious. Liaoning, okay, the lobby of Dalian Children's Hospital is full of sick children receiving intravenous, like I said, intravenous drips. There are also queues of patients as the traditional Chinese medicine hospitals and the central hospital, blah, blah, blah. Now, the WHO has made an official request to China for detailed information on an increase in respiratory illnesses and reported clusters of pneumonia in children, the UN health body said in a statement on Wednesday. All right, so you can even check this news out on NBC. I mean, just type it on Google. Mystery China's mystery pneumonia or whatever China's mystery pneumonia in China. You can type that. So what I'm saying is that I think Vietnam did a very good job for combating COVID-19 at a very early stage. And I think Vietnam needs to be well prepared in advance for this one, because chances are, my best guess is 85% of the chance I'm betting on it is that this epidemic could blow out to become a pandemic, a global pandemic, and predominantly targeting children and senior citizens with health issues. But so if there is a requirement for booster shots here in Vietnam for children, who are in school, or so if that is being authorized, then please do that, because this is the same pattern of what it was for the COVID-19 outbreak from China. Now, I don't know if this is some kind of a biological testing which has leaked from the lab, or some kind of an experimental project which has gone haywire back in China. But, you know, we're talking about children over here, okay? We're talking about 10,000 kids getting affected with pneumonia, and that's no joke. So, yeah, so I'm pretty sure that certain initiatives will be taken over here in Vietnam. And it's just like an early warning message, which I just want to contribute as a noble citizen of this world, as a good Samaritan. That be prepared. This may be the next global pandemic. Okay, so, yeah, if you like watching this video, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. If you're traveling around in Southeast Asia and you want to start a passive income online business, make sure to check the link down in the description below. Additionally, you can support me on PayPal. With that being said, this was me, Sujoy. Peace out.